So here we go, game number 4 between Team Spinal Tap and the Killer Pikachus. Spawning up here in the top position of GSL Antica's Shipyard in the teal color, playing for Team Spinal Tap. He can actually close out a series with a win in this game. It's our Terran player, JustAlex. And spawning across from him, the only position he actually can spawn, fun fact. In the yellow color, he's playing for the Killer Pikachus. Can he keep his team alive? It is DangerAl. I'm pretty sure it's DangerAl. He might be DangerAI, but I'm thinking it's Al. So TDT on a shipyard. I really like this map for TBT. It tends to make some really interesting games, at least on the mid to late game, because you can cut the map in half fairly reasonably just by holding this one watchtower in the middle of the map. It allows you to take your own center expansion and denies your opponent his center expansion. So it's difficult because you can contain your opponent to 3 bases while taking 4 or 5 or 6 of your own. And it creates a little bit of an interesting scenario where you do have to break the siege at some point. You can't sit back on kind of a split map and on some other. JustAlex throwing down an early gas geyser, and we'll see if it's going to be for a factory-based build like a Hellion drop, that sort of thing, or if it's for Banshee. Meanwhile, we see DangerAl has not taken his gas yet. He looks to be setting up for a 1-Rax fast expand. Now, JustAlex is a player that we've I don't know why I refer to you guys as we, that I've casted before. I have not seen a DangerAl game. So we'll see how these players stack up, especially in this matchup. DangerAl getting vision. These are kind of interesting positions for supply depots. He actually can't see anything going on at his own ramp. He may lull his opponent into a missed scout, but that's not going to be the case. As JustAlex gets in, he'll spot everything. And that's a nice surround by DangerAl, and he'll actually be able to take out his opponent's scout CV, and that really denies knowledge. Was he actually able? Okay, so he did see the barracks, so he's not going to be too scared of anything. But it looks like DangerAl was trying to make his opponent think that he was going for a proxy 2-Rax in the middle of the map or something of that variety, and that's not the case. Now we see the gas geyser was for a Reaper. Reaper expands are coming back in popularity, kind of surprisingly, and we see this actually doesn't delay the command center by too much, but a 35-second advantage for DangerAl, but that's nothing that can be reconciled. That's 2 SCVs, not the biggest deal, especially in a platinum level game. And he's actually going to get 2 Reapers, so that's kind of interesting. This is kind of a unique opening from JustAlex. Reapers are pretty good on this map. They're not necessarily the best, because the only places you can really get up into your opponent's base are through this little, I don't know what you'd call it, this little ledge, or you have to go around through the natural like you would if you were on foot. But if you can get back behind the natural, you can jump up here, which can catch your opponent off guard. DangerAl going to the bunker close to the command center. This is a wall off we've seen, as opposed to the more traditional wall off across the map. But this is a map that both players are familiar with. The only difference from the latter version, you can only spawn cross positions on this map, and the gold base in the middle is not gold, it's blue, and the neutral supply depot. So there aren't huge changes. This is basically the same map that you see on ladder, and that leads to a lot of familiarity for these players. See JustAlex being a little bit sneaky with his Reapers. It looks like he's trying to find, I don't know if he was looking for proxy building, or if he's just trying to keep up the tower range. My guess is that he's just trying to sneak around the tower. He'll be able to jump up here. It'll be spotted by this supply depot, and a lot of the Marines are back here at the ramp for DangerAl, and JustAlex comes in. He throws a volley at the supply depot, which does give him away. DangerAl now back to respond to this. Loses a couple of SCVs, look like 2 and a Marine, and JustAlex gets out of there with his Reapers. Now he can do kind of the Mutalistic thing, just kind of wind his way back around the front and come in the natural if he wants to. It doesn't look like that's quite the idea yet. But we see DangerAl doing that very standard build, 1 racks into 3 racks. He's getting his combat shield first, so he's looking to play a little bit more defensively. Meanwhile, JustAlex going to follow up. He's getting Hellions. It looks like he's going to get a Banshee as well, and he's going to be really revolved around these harassment units. Reapers poke back in. It looks like they get another kill, maybe 2. Now we're 3 were killed. 2 by that Reaper and 2 by that Reaper. So a little bit of harassment damage. Mostly just means that your opponent's really thinking about bio. And it looks like that's not what DangerAl wants to play, or excuse me, what JustAlex wants to play. Instead, following up with a second factory. He does have that reactor on his barracks. That might be for the second factory. I'm not entirely sure. I guess we'll keep tabs on that. So we're going to have a player playing at least mostly bio. He doesn't have those Marauders out yet, so it could still be Marine tank. But this is usually a decent push in most matchups. It's not that scary in TVT just because of the splash damage available and the way Hellions work. But a poke with combat shield can be very useful. We see the Reapers actually scout this move out, so they're moving back toward the middle of the map. They take an extra shot now to kill these Marines. Both Reapers go down. They only get 1 more Marine kill between the 2 of them. So the Reapers have done their job now. He was able to get scouting information. He was able to kind of delay this push. But now he needs to get out something to help him defend. He's only got a handful of Marines, 2 Hellions, 1 siege tank, and this is a pretty scary force of 15 Marines. There's no siege move, there's no blue flame, nothing like that. The SCV's forced to be pulled here. Banshee actually not fighting at all. These 3 Hellions should be enough to actually chase this off, but he's losing a lot of SCVs in the process. The Banshee finally firing. It's getting targeted down. Banshee getting very low. Will it fall? It does to the last Marine. That Marine did have 4 kills before it was eventually dispatched. And that cute little bit of Reaper harassment now negated. 11 workers killed by DangerAl. And if we look at 42 SCVs to 37 in favor of our player for the Killer Pikachus. The biggest issue that he's going to have is that he's playing a really bio-heavy style versus a mech-heavy style. And that means that if your opponent plays perfectly, he should be able to win. 3rd command center on the way for JustAlex, researching that nice seed mode upgrade. And the mech army starting to take shape. He's only on 2 factories and 1 starport, which is kind of interesting to note, and it does look like he's going to throw down the reactor on his starport and get a 3rd factory. So that's the very standard amount of production building in 2 days for mech. DangerAl, meanwhile, throwing down the 3rd command center in exactly the same position at about the same time. It's always weird how these things line up across the styles that you'll play in TVT. First couple of Marauders are out for DangerAl. He's researching siege mode and getting out that first siege tank. And this is kind of popular. Pure bio falling kind of by the wayside recently. Instead, players have been really focused on getting just a handful of siege tanks so that you can still get that really valuable space control with those siege tanks, and you still have the power and the reproductibility of bio. Now, this is kind of a weird choice from DangerAl. He's getting these Vikings very early. The only reason he would want Vikings is to shoot down his opponent's Vikings. So he's going to try to get into the air war very early. Hellions being caught in the middle of the map. They do very well against Marines, but neither player really wants to engage there, and they both hold back. Right now, DangerAl leads by 4 supply, but just will have the stronger army when the time comes. So DangerAl is going to need to do some sort of damage. We even see the turret ring starting to constrict around our Spinal Tapper's base, and mech should beat bio 100% of the time if it's played perfectly. If it's not, that's where you get into trouble. You see a scan coming up here about the missile turret, so he should know where he can and can't drop these units. Doesn't look like that matters too much. He's going to take out that sensor tower, which is actually invaluable. The Hellions coming back to run, and that's a nice pick up, he does lose one of the medevacs, but he's not going to lose anything more than that. And that picking off the sensor tower was actually really important. Now his movement can't be tracked through this area of the map. That opens up a lot more possibilities to drop. And that's really what you have to do as the Biowing player, is try and abuse your opponent's lack of mobility. Hellions are really mobile, but they're only good against Marines. Siege tanks, not mobile in any way, especially when they're all set in siege mode. But third base down for both players, don't get saturated for them both. See 61 SCVs to 57, so both players staying relatively even in that. And this drop actually gets spotted, so they'll have to pull back. The problem for DangerAl right now is he's been getting into this Viking race against his opponent. Hellions come in trying to do some damage, they take some siege tank fire, and will be forced back. But the problem is there's no medevacs to heal these units, so any stim up right now is permanent. There's only the one medevac, and it's flying around toward his opponent's third base. So he needs to get his medevac count a little bit higher. It's good that he has air control with these 7 Vikings, but his opponent will be more interested in the air battle come the late game than he is. In comes the JustAlex to the third base, able to pick off a couple of these SCVs probably before they're able to move. And there's the Stimming, actually tearing through quite a few of these. All of them now gone. He's targeting down the gas geyser. A couple of units back to respond. And there's actually nothing that shoots ground, so these things just taking some free damage right now. A couple more SCVs going down as well. To 8 kills to 20. And the 20 kills are because there's a Hellion run by. So JustAlex doing well, keeping active with these Hellions, frying more and more SCVs. And the army caught in the middle of the map for DangerAl, and he's forced to fall back, and he's still losing more and more SCVs to these Hellions. Finally cleaned up now. And as we reset, 16 workers killed to 20. And again, it's pretty even, but if you can prevent the player from ever maxing out, you're in a great position. 4th Command Center on the way for JustAlex. He's floated his barracks over here to scout for drops, which is a nice little touch. There we have another dropship headed out for DangerAl. Scan, I'm not sure whose scan that is. It's JustAlex's, so he does see that dropship, and not responding immediately by getting anything in position. So this will be able to wind its way over toward the third base eventually. And a lot of the SCVs have already been replaced. There's... Okay, so it's being healed. I was kind of wondering about the SCV just sitting there. A couple of Marines out to scout just to make sure there's no base over here hidden from him. The Vikings set in offensive position. We have 9 Vikings for JustAlex and 9 Vikings for DangerAl. So this is a very even battle. It'll be interesting to see who comes out on top with this. Doesn't look like he's really target firing through this fight, and DangerAl actually going to come out on top, which is, I don't know, a little bit surprising. This Vikings a little bit damaged. We have a hell drop winding its way out from JustAlex. It's going to fly right over these 2 Marines, so it should be scouted by DangerAl. DangerAl taking his middle base, everything looking really nice. He's maxed out now, and that's actually a little bit worrying, because once you're maxed out as the Biowing player, you need to add on more production buildings, and basically you have to start looking for a good way to trade away your army. The drop was kind of spotted by these 2 Marines. A little bit of damage, but it is still going to fly into the main. We see a lot of missile turrets over here to try and prevent that. And that drop's not going to happen. But we see the forward siege position of JustAlex, DangerAl, content just to sit here. And this is kind of a weird spot to be in. DangerAl has 2 bandages, so he can kind of move his way in and pick off some of these siege tanks until his opponent has a lot of anti-air, which he does. So one siege tank goes down. There are 2 Thors here, which basically just negate air superiority. A little bit of engagement over here on the right flank. The siege tank doing so much damage, but the Marauders all mostly still alive. That trade went a little bit better for JustAlex, but DangerAl still got a couple of siege tanks, and that's valuable. That's the one thing that you really have to control. DangerAl going to sneak in here. That medevac actually going to make it in safely, and he'll start being able to pick off some of these SCVs. It doesn't look like he'll get too many of them. There, he'll stim up and start targeting down the 3rd Command Center. Hellions coming back to spawn for JustAlex. May start burning, but I don't think he's going to be able to get it. And it's really low. 80, 70, no, not going to happen. Medevac going to fall as well. But it's still burning. There's nothing healing this command center. Down to 25 health. Uh-oh. Okay, there we go. SCV's finally repairing that. And a close save. DangerAl now remax. Still sitting on Marine Marauder. A couple of medevacs, siege tanks, Vikings. Kind of very standard stuff. This 4th base has been taken. And a 4th... Oh, that's... Excuse me. 4th base has been taken by JustAlex as well. A planetary over there. Viking fight there, and that's a nice snipe by JustAlex. Even baits out a couple of those Marines into some tank fire. JustAlex going to remax on some of those areas. He's getting 2 battle cruisers. He's getting ship weapons level 2, and those are going to be invaluable. The Thors kind of negated the air advantage that DangerAl had, and now JustAlex definitely has air advantage. He's got 16 Vikings. He's got 2 Thors as well. Battlecruisers, not the best against Vikings, but they're so good against Thors. I can't overstate that. So if he can get up kind of a comparable Viking count, he'll have higher upgrades. He'll have 4 battlecruisers, I believe. Are there 2 out? No? Okay. But those battlecruisers are going to be invaluable. Oh, never mind. The battlecruisers are out for JustAlex. Oh. So JustAlex switching into Sky, and he has air advantage right now. So he's going to be able to really pressure his opponent. Of course, DangerAl sitting on mostly Marines is going to feel fairly safe. Now, if we look at the scouting, JustAlex has seen a couple of these bases. This top base has finally been scouted by DangerAl, but he doesn't seem to be in any hurry to take that out. He could just send over 1 dropship, and there's not a whole lot here to defend. I mean, it's a planetary, but that's not the biggest deal. And JustAlex actually still taking more and more bases on the top half of the map. There's still only 4 bases for DangerAl. Now, here we go. A big group of Marines and Marauders headed up to the top base for JustAlex. He needs to stim and kill that very quickly before his opponent's able to respond. Is there actually enough DPS here? He'll take out a lot of these Marines and Marauders, but can he actually get down the planetary? It does look like he'll have just enough. That's nice splitting, actually, by DangerAl. He'll kill a lot of these SCVs as well. So if we look, we're at 40 to 17 now. Workers being sacrificed by JustAlex. It would be wonderful to see him attack his tank with them. But a lot of these SCVs being thrown away. Now he will get into the mineral line and start trying to take that out. In comes the move in, the battle trying to take down that missile turret. Yamato cannon comes off. In come the Vikings now, and we'll have a big air engagement. The winner of this fight will have a gigantic lead. In comes a stim up of a lot of these Marines and Marauders. I don't know if this is going to be enough. There's 2-1 battle cruisers in the air. All the Vikings are gone. A lot of these Marines are falling very quickly, and there's no battle cruisers left, luckily. So JustAlex will hold on for now. Marauders stimming in, running to their deaths. There's no way they're going to be able to break through this entire tank line, I don't think. 3-3 Marauders are pretty good, though, as it turns out. So he does trade okay. Not the best. More reinforcements coming in here, shooting some of these Vikings. Now finally stimming up. We'll kill another siege tank. This is really nice spreading, though, by JustAlex now. Landing a handful of those Vikings to try and get some of that back. Now we see DangerAl sticking with Bio, which is kind of weird considering his opponent has been showing those battle cruisers. He can start getting out more Vikings, he can get Thors, and all of these things pretty good against Bio. 3-3 for battle cruisers, or for ships. for air vehicles on the way for JustAlex. The Terran building armor just finished as well. There's another planetary up here in the top right base. And JustAlex floating a lot in his bank. DangerAl, meanwhile, running low on minerals. He's got a lot of gas, though, which means the Sky Terran transition probably would have been best for him as well. He does have these 2 starports. He still hasn't made anything with them in quite a while. Starting to get mined out. He's mined out in the main, mined out in the natural. He needs to take a 5th base soon. He's just running out of money. Now the CTL on the planetary, this one will fall as well. And JustAlex now in a little bit of a rough economic spot. He's thrown away a lot of his SCVs. We see 62 workers killed. But now he might be able to take center control with this little push. A couple of SCVs here to repair. And these Thors and battlecruisers just aren't going to die because of these SCVs here. Nice control though from DangerAl, able to pick off a couple of them. And if we look, supply is still so even. This missile turret actually doing a lot of damage. That is finally going to be cleaned up. And now DangerAl has to pull his reinforcements back across the map. We do see them move in down on the bottom side. A couple of units. These are Vikings have moved up toward the main. He needs vision right now. He's needing to take down the fusion core of his opponent. But meanwhile, JustAlex is taking center control. He definitely has an air advantage. If we look at so many Vikings and just a handful of battle cruisers, a nice smattering, if you will, starting to move into this place. And DangerAl really in danger now. JustAlex in pretty dire economic situation. Still is mining at his 3rd. He does need a 4th base pretty soon if he really wants to continue in this game. But this army that he has right now might not be able to be stopped. He's finally regained center control, so he could take his 4th base fairly soon. And this little force of DangerAl is basically what it's like. Incumbent in the Mars stimming up, trying to retake the center, and they actually will be able to do that as they take out the last tank, chase away a couple of these Vikings as well. Will the last Marauder survive? Maybe. DangerAl, though, running out of money very quickly. If we look, no bank left. He's got 4,000 gas, now forced to retreat back across the map as the battlecruiser fleet just keeps growing. There's 6 of them now. Another 1 on the way, so we'll be up to 7 right now. And JustAlex in a very good position. He does need to take a 4th. He does have command center available to do that. That's his main, actually. And now able to start shelling DangerAl's 4th base. So all the mining going on right now at both players' 3rd bases. And if we look, 48 SCVs to 26, which means the DangerAl, a lot of his supply is still locked up in those SCVs. Not that that's really a bad thing at this point, but it just kind of is. Command center floating over here, and JustAlex blocks the expansion with his scout barracks from earlier. And the Hellion's going to come in and roast a lot of these SCVs. This is really nicely done by JustAlex. And DangerAl falling apart a little bit. He's still got a pretty decent-sized army. Marines and Marauders with a handful of Vikings. He doesn't have any medevacs, which is a little bit worrying. And there go all of those workers. So we're at 69, 44 workers killed in this game. And DangerAl moving up, trying to find his opponent's 4th base. He knows about the army in the middle of the map thanks to the sensor tower. And finally landing a couple of bases up here in the top position. But the army going to move in and take out this 4th base location for JustAlex. And welcome to the 34-minute mark of TVT. Now, DangerAl, this is actually really risky. His entire army is up here, which means that JustAlex can outmaneuver his opponent. And we even see the siege tanks getting in position. He can trap his opponent's army away from all of his bases, and either head toward his opponent's bases or kill his opponent's army. And so JustAlex, with that maneuver, has actually taken a pretty decent lead. These Vikings getting vision of nothing in particular here, just getting some nice scouting info, I guess. Those are all going to be picked up. There's the bio down on the ground. There's finally a stim up. This damage is permanent, of course. There's no medevacs for DangerAl, and he's going to force a little bit of a base trade, kind of his last hope in the game. JustAlex actually now supply block. There's one siege tank here just raining down damage on the bio. DangerAl can't seem to decide whether he wants to push in or not. Battlecruiser's coming back to respond for JustAlex. Starport down. And now DangerAl taking out another starport. He needs to head up and take down the third base, I think. But his bio count is so low, and he's going to move back across the map where all the siege tanks are, so he might take some fire very quickly. His Hellions still delaying mining here. DangerAl's finally realized he has a base up here, so he can start saturating that. He's still sitting on mostly bio right now, and there's no medevacs to be found anywhere. He's reproducing Vikings. You should know he's just going to lost the air battle. JustAlex, meanwhile, sitting still on 16 Vikings, 6 battlecruisers, handful of tanks. He's taken the forward 4th base, which is the base I think he needed to take earlier. And both players a little bit mined out. So we'll see. Keep an eye on the resource tab. JustAlex has a lot of minerals, but not much gas. He's still mining a little bit. DangerAl, meanwhile, has all the gas, but not very many minerals. Battlecruisers trying to intercept these hurt handful of Marines and Marauders. DangerAl trying to make his last stand against his opponent's battlecruisers. He does walk into tank fire, though, and loses a good chunk of his army. We see the supply still very even, but if we look at army supply, 20 in favor of JustAlex. DangerAl mostly in the lead in the SCVs, although those aren't really helping him right now. Hellions coming back in here. They're trying to roast more and more workers, and they roast an automaton as well. And DangerAl still in a bit of trouble. His army really cut off from his bases, and he can't go and save his mining. Instead, he's going to attempt kind of a base trade. Coming in here, he'll get this command center, he'll get this one as well. In come the battlecruisers, though. This is going to be the big battle. There's not very many Marines here to try and deal. He needs to target down the battlecruisers, but the SCVs repairing look like they're going to be enough. And all the anti-air is gone. There's only 3 Marines left, and there they go. GG, well played by DangerAl. And JustAlex has taken a 37, almost 38-minute long TBT for Team Spinal Tap, and he secures the week victory for his team. So a 4-0 lead for JustAlex. The rest of the games will be played, and we will show them to you. But Spinal Tap has clinched the week. So we'll head into game number 5, a Silver League game. After just a little bit, I'm feeling a little bit lightheaded after 38 minutes of casting. So we'll be right back with game number 5 between Spinal Tap and the Killer Pikachus. Don't go anywhere. You're watching CTL casted by Meristematic.